Guys, beer, sports. Join Sean and Brad as they talk about sports and share a beer. From the east coast of Canada to the west coast of the United States. Over to you, boys.
Everybody, what's happening? What's good with you? Hey, Guys Beer Sports, Sean and Brad back. Season 2, episode 10. We are all over the place. It feels like the last couple of weeks. I've been in and out. Sean's in and out. You can see he's got some new decor. He's hanging out in a hotel. The pandemic life is getting to all of us, I think. So, Sean, good morning.
How you doing, man?
Good afternoon, whatever it is where you are, I guess.
Oh, it's definitely afternoon. Yeah. Yeah, we're in a hotel trying to sell our house. The show will be happening in Toronto in a couple of months there, Toronto and Whidbey Island.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm looking
Who
forward
knows? Shit, the way the market's going, maybe we'll be relocating from everywhere. We'll see how it goes.
Who knows exactly?
That's not probably going to happen. Don't listen to that, Mom.
I'll tell you what, though. You went to Vegas last week. People probably didn't even realize it until I mentioned it on the podcast. But, with the power of editing,
yep.
We had you on and Ian on last week.
Right in. Yeah, the beauty of technology.
Smooth as glass, I tell you.
Or smooth as balls, right?
Hey.
We can thank our sponsors, Flyers Brewery, for always keeping us, at least me, with good drink. Wonderful food corner of Whidbey and 20 in Oak Harbor. Go see them. They're opened up again. Indoor dining, outdoor dining, all your food and beer needs. Flyers Brewery. Thanks for the support, fellas and gals.
That's awesome. Yeah, and big shout out to Smooth My Balls. I always feel a little strange saying it, but hey.
All the things you feel strange saying, that's the thing, huh?
That's the one.
Yeah.
Don't forget, too, that for all your manscaping needs, go to www.smoothmyballs.com/guysbeersports. Use our code guysbeersports to receive 15% off.
Yep, get there. Listen,
hey,
for the man or woman in your life, you got to get there.
Stop.
Buy it for yourself. Buy it for a friend.
Some Boxing Rock Wit.
Oh,
it's a
fancy.
white. Yeah, a white.
Fancy. How's it working out for you?
Not bad.
Oh, okay. Is that number one on the day, or are we already a couple in?
Yeah, I'm still
number one. Okay. I always like to know where you are on the way in, so we can figure out the cadence. Figure out the cadence. Well, today on the show, all over the place, a bunch of topics. So we're talking NFL draft, NBA, NHL, UFC fights, whatever else comes up. We're joined with the friend of the show, Reed. Big old New England-based afro when he doesn't want to shave it, bearded Reed. So stay tuned, kids.
Yeah.
There's our guy. Look at him right there. There he is.
It's like he has a halo on, too.
There he is.
That's what I'm going for.
Just jumped off the Peloton, put his hood up, and here we are.
Very pious today. Very pious.
Love it.
Yeah.
But so there was a UFC, I guess there was no fans, but still in the hotel that I stayed in was a bunch of PFL fighters, which was interesting.
Yeah.
And so those dudes were super they were crazy. Like the dudes that we saw that were staying in, so I stayed in the MGM Signature, which is the resort behind the MGM, right? And so they got 3 towers. And in the tower I said there was a handful of fighters, but 2 of the dudes we saw the most was this dude from Holland and then this other dude from France, and they would talk in French, but they would talk to us in English. We saw them a bunch of times on the elevator, and they were fighting, 205. They're like monsters.
You got an elevator. You got on an elevator with a couple of 205ers.
Yeah,
Brad,
right. I'm not. That don't bother.
Brad, you're a bad motherfucker.
That don't bother me.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Well,
I see some boys that big. I'm like, I'll wait for the next one.
Well, it's the plus side of being my size.
It's called the survival of the unfittest.
Yeah.
You don't get on an elevator with guys that fit. So
yeah, I know that their instinct is not to play with, their instinct is to play in the rules because they train so much. So I'm going groin shot, nose shot, see you later.
Maybe I'm gonna.
But if you're not elevator, see you later. Yeah, you're doing a mo.
Oh no, there's 100%. It's survival of the fittest for sure. I'm smashing one of them in the dick, and I'm hitting one of them in the nose with the eyeballs, and then I'm stomping on them as they're on the ground until the door opens and I can run away.
Oh yeah, every time scratching the eyes.
High kneeing like a mug, just so they don't grab my ankles and try to get me in submission. I'm just bouncing on them.
A little bit of screaming to get some attention your way. Ah!
High pitched screaming,
very high pitch
for sure. High pitched screaming.
I don't think Brad could go falsetto, but
No,
I'm
100% yelling rape in that moment.
hello, rape, hello,
rape. So we'll usually keep this thing running while we talk, just because sometimes there's some real good one-liners that I get on Sean.
For a cold opener,
put into circulation.
Yeah,
that aren't episode related. So
trust me, like that whole entire thing. So is he psychotic like you? That's going on somewhere.
No, let's cut that little 15-second blurb out.
That works. All right,
but not this ignorant banter. We'll be more professional. At least you and I will be.
Try to be.
Sean will still be in with his hair product with hand comb in his hair, trying to get ready for the show.
How do you know?
I just know things, man. That's what I do. That's what I do. I get on elevators with 205 dudes and know shit. That's what my job is. Let's talk about that. How about Belichick's affection for pasty white, chubby quarterbacks?
Dude, it's gross. Like, and he smokes an inordinate amount of cigars and everything like that. Like, I know, pot kettle.
Yeah.
But like, Jesus, like, I'm not an NFL quarterback. You know what I mean? Like,
nope.
There's no expectation for me to do anything physical or athletic. So,
my favorite photo that surfaced over draft weekend was of Mac Jones with Tua and Jalen Hurts.
Yeah,
after they had won, and it looked like a fan photo. It looked like a fan had caught them in the
funnel. He didn't belong. It's like, what the hell is he doing there? But that's part of the kind of mystique. But I'm just looking over just the first round. Like, a lot of teams did the right thing, including Washington. Surprised me too.
Yep.
They made a bunch of big boy decisions this year, and I was very impressed to see that. So
Riverboat Ron's really turned that culture, right?
It is bizarre. Like, what a circus that was 2-3 years ago. And then the name change thing. Snyder refusing and being kind of a putt about it. And you bring in a guy like Riverboat Ron Rivera, and it's just, now you have an identity. Now you have something to rally behind, and it looks like everyone's towing the line. So
yeah, it's super fascinating.
Yep.
I thought the Bears did well getting up to get Justin Fields. I love that pick more and more.
Yeah, I love it, and people were giving him hell for it, and I don't understand why.
Yeah, absolutely.
Haters.
Wow. And
I think Justin Fields is probably the quarterback in the first round.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. Well, out of all the quarterbacks, that's going to be the most successful, you think, or most impact? I think you're right too. I mean, he's the most athletically gifted. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is probably the most cerebral, but
why? Because he's white.
Yeah, that must be it. I mean, that's an interesting drink there, Reed. What do you got there?
Raspberry Sparkler American Sour from Lone Pine Brewing. I'm Portland, Maine.
Well, my wife let me drink her beer as well.
Okay. It's gonna be like that, huh?
It's gonna be like that.
All right, fair enough. I'll let you get one in.
It looks delicious, though.
He knew he had something because he couldn't save it to get in later. Like, he could have saved that for when we were actually rolling and like really dove in, but
it would have been gone by then.
Yeah. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
Adversity shakes him more than you would expect for top tier quarterback.
Yeah. I just like with Justin Fields that he's going into a situation where the Bears have 3 quarterbacks now.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a fight, right? And not immediately. We kind of have an idea of where they're going to go with that. Who's going to be starting. Maybe you have a 1A, 1B situation, and Justin Fields is clear 3. But he's going to have something to fight for, just like college. A lot of these guys that don't have that kind of situation where they have to fight for the starting job, like I think we're going to see with the Trevor Lawrence, right?
Well, that's what we saw him at Clemson too, right? He walked in as a freshman.
Yeah, exactly. So if he doesn't have to fight for that position, you see a lot of guys that it just doesn't work out right for him. work out right if they just kind of just
the
are
Matt
anointed.
Nagy thing is intriguing to me for Justin Fields because we saw what he was able to do with Pat Mahomes. And I think that Pat Mahomes Justin Fields comparison is
undeniable.
I think the ceiling's probably lower for Fields, but who knows, right? But he's going to get Nagy in a full spot just like Mahomes did, and I hope he sits for at least a couple games. Yep.
Who saw Mahomes coming around like this? You know what I mean? Like
no one. That's what I mean. Like you're going to see Justin Fields have that same kind of thing, and maybe it's next year, not this year. Which we saw with Pat, right? But
I think it'll be an improvement from last year, anyways. Though with Justin Fields on the field,
I don't think he'll be on the field.
I don't think he'll play. I think they'll let the Red Rocket or Red Rifle or whatever his name is
play the first season.
Red Rocket.
First 8 games.
Yeah, if you got Nick Foles and you got Andy Dalton.
Yeah, there's no reason they're playing.
Yeah, but that behooves Fields better than anything else because Andy Dalton's been a pro for a very long time. Nick Foles has been a pro for a very long time.
Yeah,
yep.
He's got some big boys.
Fields sit back and watch. Just the same thing that Alex Smith did for Mahomes, right? Just taught him how to be a pro, taught him how to prepare for the game, let him see it, talk him through it. Like that's what I think we see with Justin Fields, and the Bears can do that. They don't need to necessarily start him right away. So I mean, for me, that's who I think won the draft. I think is the Bears. I don't know how they did, the rest of their picks or whatever, and they fit needs and those things, but man, they hit a home run on 8.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I'm also there looking at Atlanta and their statement because basically their statement is they still have a lot of faith in Matt Ryan in order to go for a tight end that high up, right?
They just see the situation with and Aaron Rodgers, and they're just like, Matt Ryan could turn into a real bitchy queen real fast, and they're like, we don't want any of that smoke right now.
Yep. Too early.
Like, oh yeah, he's our guy. He's number 1. Number 2 is number 1.
My favorite tweet of the week said that Jeopardy should invite Jordan Love onto host Jeopardy just to blow his mind up.
I saw that. That's brutal. So I mean, like the murmurs that since you brought up Atlanta, there's a lot of trade Julio Jones talk kicking around there. I don't know what's going on in Atlanta, but I don't particularly like it either. I don't like anything that's going on down there right now. So I think Julio is towards he's about to start heading into the twilight of his career, right?
Yeah.
Maybe let him go somewhere where he has a real shot to win.
I think that they're delusional in Atlanta and they think they have a shot to win. I think that's why they kept that core together. I think they got Ridley and on the outside with Julio and that Matt Ryan can still throw it, and that's why they got Pitts and they think they can get there.
Yeah.
I think they're alone in that, but I think they think that. Why else would you draft the way they drafted if you didn't think your window was still open?
I know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
with all the wide receivers that was available there too, and all the quarterbacks, and
Well, yeah. You wonder if they had any offers to pick at 4, knowing that there was 2 quarterbacks left on the board at that point. But
there's too many holes in Atlanta, though. I think because it's not a one player fix and then a few signings.
But whether the draft, they feel like they were able to be a player away. So.
Yeah.
Super fascinating.
So, I mean,
the other biggest loser from the draft was Zach Wilson and his entire family. How does a man that young have plastic surgery already? And they all got the same exact face sewn on. Did you see that whole family? It was bizarre. It was like they cloned.
Yep. Well,
crazy. And they all had that Latter-day Saint smile.
I flew out of Utah 2 weeks ago, and the whole airport staff looked like that. So I think it's something in the water.
Oh man, it was very upsetting to see. I was like, it was a little off, and I was just like, yeah.
So it's funny what you said earlier there, Brad, about this is the time now when everything is like happening in sports. So NFL, the draft happened.
Yeah.
NHL, we're getting really close to the postseason, and seeing all this Tom Wilson shenanigans. And
you mean just regular old hockey?
That ain't regular old hockey, man.
It should be.
Tom Wilson. Well,
Tom,
absolutely. That was regular old time hockey. That is some frontier justice. Is what happened there.
Listen, crying because your guy got pulled down and hurt is just
He was
complete.
slew-footed.
No.
He slew-footed him.
It was a dick move, and frankly, Tom Wilson, just because of the history alone, of suspensions, he probably should have got a suspension for it.
But they
Nothing
fought to
crazy.
not have that. That's
Yeah.
in their CBA. There's no. It has to be for the same event, and it's not the same event.
I get it,
The guy's a detriment out there. So you crash into the goaltender accidentally. So he goes in there. This is the first incident, and he freaking is hitting this guy that is defenseless. He's smacking him. You saw that.
Hey, listen, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Don't get into a fight and then claim to be defenseless when you got your ass kicked.
He was defenseless. He was on the ground.
He dove in, though. But listen, he actively jumped in there. He wasn't just an innocent bystander.
No,
He
you're
went
talking
in
about the
there.
second night. You're talking about Panarin when Panarin jumped him on the second night. Jumped Tom
No, I'm
Wilson.
talking about the guy that got his face bashed in the ice from behind when he was laying on the ground defenseless. That guy entered into that scrum trying to defend somebody and got. You're not defenseless. You fell down. You shouldn't have put your nose in there. If you weren't able to go in there and slide your knees like a grown up and start throwing punches, you're not defenseless. You shouldn't be there.
Tom Wilson's a beast, okay? And then Tom
Wilson is a professional at
Yes.
violence, not hockey, violence.
Oh,
Yes.
it's true. You saw him there after Panarin.
There's some hockey sprinkled into his violence. That's like, you cannot get it twisted with a guy like Tom Wilson.
No.
So
You know what? Tom Wilson is loved by most players, especially his
100%.
teammates.
Yeah.
If
I
they took a
agree.
survey and they said, "Would you want Tom Wilson on your team?" and it was resoundingly yes.
Yeah, I
You
agree.
like playing against him? Resoundingly no.
Yeah.
But I gotta be honest with you though, Reed and Brad, is that I was actually shocked with the New York Rangers responding the way that they did. I mean,
The New York Rangers didn't respond like that. James Dolan responded like that.
still,
When you say the New York Rangers, you're talking about the coach and the GM.
I'm talking
right.
about the 100 minutes of penalty minutes in the first period.
Oh, that whole shit. Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
god,
yeah.
that was
I was
Rangers.
actually
Yeah.
impressed. I was happy that they came and they did that. Okay, that was cool. The thing is, though, is that right now that GM should be looking at their team
He's
and going,
fired.
We don't have, because we don't have a player that can stand up to a guy like Tom Wilson or
He
something.
already got fired. Probably for the wrong reason though. But yeah, James Dolan came out after the Tom Wilson thing. Did you read that statement from on the official graphics? Like that'd be like sending your mistress like a credit card number something like that on like your official letterhead. You're just like, hey, someone came
On the back of a
across
Christmas card. It's like, hey, sweetheart, here's
that.
here's the credit card number.
I'll see you at room 403. Get yourself a little something nice. It's like Jesus. Talking about showing your ass, man. Like, and again, this is coming from a guy who owned. If I owned an NHL team, especially an original six, especially the Rangers, I'd be a loud motherfucker. I get it, Dolan. But how can you fire your coach, fire your GM, and then have this whole thing with the Twitter tirade and talking all that shit? Like, you could sit there and say we regretfully, we think it was a bad call by the head of player safety.
Yeah.
Right.
But to call out George Paris directly and say he should lose his fucking job.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
Ah.
But that was emotion.
Dude, you've got people in your way to make sure that emotion doesn't come out. You surround
It's
yourself with people
emotion,
like
but it's also just such a lack of emotional intelligence because he doesn't know the rules,
Yeah.
right?
yeah, emotion's not an excuse.
Yeah.
No,
it's
that
just
guy, the director of safety did exactly what he was allowed to do. He gave him the maximum penalty he could under the CBA.
Yeah.
Period.
Again,
That's
with
the ins and outs of it.
the head of player safety is George friggin' Paros.
Yeah.
That seems to be lost on everybody. You're talking about the gooniest goon probably of all time,
Yeah.
You're
and a guy who graduated from fucking Princeton.
Yeah.
Okay. So not only is he the toughest, scariest guy in the room, he's also the smartest.
Yeah.
So Dolan, shut the fuck up.
He started the Movember in hockey there too.
Yeah, he's just as we say in hockey, a good guy, right? Just
All around
just
good guy.
all around good guy.
You don't want to throw fisticuffs with him either. It's like,
Oh, I would just for the story. I'm gonna complete 180 on our conversation earlier. If I get on a level with George Paros, I'm pulling his shirt. I'm trying to pulling his shirt over his head, and I'm just gonna start throwing uppercuts. And he's gonna beat the unholy hell out of me. Probably scrape my face against all the elevator buttons.
You're just gonna give him the old Bob Barker.
Oh yeah, just Price is wrong, bitch. You punching him? I'm gonna have a golf glove on too, probably.
But like last week, everybody was talking about Wayne Simmons fighting Alex Edler.
No one was talking about Wayne Simmons and Alex Edler.
No, you're incorrect.
No
That's
one
only
was.
because you're
Dude.
so American. You're so into that.
Dude, everyone go on to ESPN. Everyone's talking about the Rangers shit. No one was talking about Edler and
this week is
last week also.
no one was talking about it.
no
No one was talking about it in America.
incorrect.
Okay.
Incorrect. But you know what it has done? It's
My
left.
favorite thing is he has no access to American sports at all. He's like, you Americans were talking about. You don't know.
Right now, though, this whole entire playoffs coming up, it's left a wonderful taste in my mouth right now of just
Ooh.
like the
What's his name?
to come out. It's awesome. I can't wait. I can't wait for the playoffs. What are you chuckling about over there, Brad?
You just completely were right over what Reed said. It was amazing.
He'll listen to it later and hear it.
Yeah. We were like, oh no.
Don't you dare edit that out, you son of a gun.
Violence. What's wrong with violence?
You'll hear it later.
Didn't say violence at all.
I did too. I said violence. I don't know what you guys are thinking.
You did. Reed did not. Reed said something else over there.
I didn't hear what Reed said.
Yeah, hey, we know.
We'll hear it later.
Clearly did not know.
I haven't been outside in a year.
Brad got all upset there this week because he's trying to talk about Tom Wilson and everything. And Reed and I have been talking about it on a different chat. And Brad's like, what?
Brad, by the way, we had a chat for a fantasy hockey league that my buddy Kuna, who you got to have Kuna on. Sean knows him only through Facebook Messenger. He's one of the biggest degenerates of all time. He's just an absolute animal. And he changed the name of the chat. What is it called?
First Lair.
First Lair. I was like, I remember scrolling through the chats, and I had it muted a while ago. And I saw Lucy was there. I was like, did I get drunk? And what did I do? I go in there. I'm like, why is Valancourt here? It was just a fantasy hockey chat that turned into when the league ended, just a complete cesspool.
It's pretty bad, but the hockey talk is still good.
The hockey talk is still good. So yeah, Kuna will occasionally engage us in these conversations about hockey, and because he knows Valancourt can't help himself. He knows it's like catnip.
Yep.
What do you think of the Golden Knights over there? Like when you were over there in Vegas, were people talking about the Golden Knights? No,
I mean that we were there a day of a game, and like the stadium was. I mean, they were all around the stadium was dead, and I mean it was surreal to be there because it wasn't like typical Vegas,
Right.
So
yeah, because usually like the good thing about having the Golden Knights there is, even if you're not a hockey fan, you've probably been staying up a couple of days. You've probably been day drinking, probably doing some coke.
Yep.
A hockey game sounds like a real good prospect.
Oh yeah,
and I'm sure they're comping tickets for that stuff.
Yeah.
So you just like happen.
Yeah, we went the last time we were there.
Yeah.
It was that way. It was cool. You could just tell there was a game right there at MGM Park. Like the whole place was packed full of fans, and it was a good time for sure. This time, not as much. But
yeah, I think it's just a good business decision in the first place to bring hockey to the desert like that because.
Yeah.
Again, you just get people looking for shit to do when you're in Vegas.
Well, I think that's how it's going to be for the Raiders games too, right? You're going to have it's going to be similar to what you saw when the Chargers went to LA when there was a disparity. Like the fans were split 50-50. There wasn't as many home fans.
Yeah,
you're going to find that in Vegas too.
I'd be surprised if it was 15% to 85% out of towners because.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll in there not giving a fuck about the Raiders.
Oh yeah. Listen, the next time I go during football season, I'm gonna go to a game, even if it's not my team playing.
Yeah,
and I'm going to go. I'll be down there when Seattle plays there for once every 4 years. Like that's a gimme.
Yeah, because I guarantee you they're probably gonna have the best fan experience in the league.
Yeah. How can you not? It's so great, right? Like where that stadium sits in comparison to the Strip and all those things. Like, man, you're not gonna have a bad time in Vegas watching football.
All right, I wanted to switch over to NBA.
Just real quick, man, think about a Monday night game in Vegas.
Oh.
You roll in on Saturday, right? You get Saturday and Sunday in the sports book, betting college and pro football.
Yeah.
Monday, you're just day drinking. Monday night, you're in the stadium watching a football game.
And Brad, man, you get me all worked up over
Let's go.
Say when.
Okay.
Say when.
I will just find out when the schedule comes out. Let's see if Oakland's got or Vegas has a Monday Night Football game. Let's see what's what.
I won't even tell my people here where I'm going. I'll just be at the airport.
Yeah, it'll be a surprise.
I'll just be like, bye.
Surprised. Everyone's gonna be surprised.
Well, Brad, I never seen you so jealous there on Messenger there.
Oh, you haven't seen anything yet. Just wait till I get my comeback.
Well, frankly, I don't even give a shit if Brad's upset because I'm upset because he went to Vegas without. Like, I'm Mr. Vegas. Pretty messed up. There's like Steve Wynn and then Reed Homer. It's crazy.
I did see your sign there, and on the Walk of Hollywood thing that was there.
Yeah, I had a couple. I have a plaque in the M&M store.
Yeah.
Okay, you go to.
It's not even
Circus.
a plaque anymore. A life-size figurine of you. I took a picture of it. I'll send you that.
I know Sean will see it and he'll say, "Oh, that's just the yellow peanut M&M," because he's a hater.
Yeah.
But the resemblance is uncanny,
Yes.
Sean.
The hair is a dead giveaway.
Dead giveaway.
Dead giveaway.
Yeah.
All right, I wanted to head over to the NBA since the playoffs are about to start over there as well.
Yeah.
So Zion Williamson, who was it that made that comment? I don't know if it was the coach or the GM, because he's out for the season now.
Oh boy.
And they were talking about,
Wow. He's out indefinitely.
yeah, they're talking about how the refs have been basically not calling the same stuff when he's playing because he's a big boy. So they won't call that hack a shack, stuff like that. They'd be taking liberties with Zion Williamson, some of these players.
He's 6'7", 284 pounds.
He's also young. This is a rite of passage.
Yeah.
He'll get those calls later in his career. He's not going to get them this year.
Yeah, he's
Or
getting
last
jumped.
year.
It's like getting jumped in. You got to pay your dues. I don't have a problem with it.
He's got a certain taste in his mouth, Sean, if you know what we're picking up early.
I would regret saying that, I might.
Yeah.
Are you going to regret saying it the 8 times so far?
Yeah.
But I mean, is he like complaining about it at all, or is it other people just kind of complaining about
No,
it?
and
Yeah, like other people come out there and say he hasn't said boo about it, right? Like he's
yeah.
I just hate when people do that to a young player like this, where he won't say shit. He's not like in a Crosby situation where he's very vocal about stuff and very critical of stuff. Like he might not be saying shit, but other people are kind of in his defense saying some stuff because that just blows back on him terribly because then everyone starts calling him a bitch, and it's like, well, obviously not to his face because he's like one of the freakiest looking athletes I've ever seen in my life. He's got like those Dwight Howard arms. It's terrifying.
He's a big man,
He's a lot of Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
Yep.
But now the Pelicans, though, their playoff situation that looks dismal.
Well, they were done. I don't think they were going to get in anyway.
Yeah, they didn't have a chance to play in.
No, they're not good enough.
When Zion Williamson holds the basketball, it looks like he's holding a freaking baseball. He looks like a pitcher about to wind up sometimes. Oh my god! All right, I'm gonna close this.
But all these people like Davis and LeBron James and all the people just injury just coming up right now. Lakers are down in 7th spot.
Is the NBA practicing, or are they in a posture like the NHL where they're not practicing?
I don't think that they're practicing.
They've got shoot arounds,
Yeah.
and those kinds of things. But I mean, just the compressed schedule. They try to get away from like a lot of travel, but a lot of the back-to-backs they would bring in. You'd play the same team on a back-to-back at home and then send them out. I think.
Yeah, I mean, like
they compress too much into the season. That's kind of what it feels like. And I also
that
think
sounds
that
right.
load management is backfiring on a couple of NBA teams.
Yeah.
Because they can't load manage like they could in previous years, and they couldn't adapt to it.
Well, especially when the NBA is already talking about fining teams. If you don't play this, play this superstar in this TNT Sunday night game, we're going to fine you. And it's just like, what's the
is that an actual conversation that was had?
Yeah. Like apparently the league said that for special TV appearances, like for TV games that are like Sunday night games or whatever,
Prime time, yeah.
The team would get fined if you were to sit your superstars, right? So
if the guy needs a rest, you're gonna get fined.
Yeah,
they would just pay it. What's $50,000?
Well,
What's the fine is the next question.
Yeah, it's.
Are we talking 5 million, or are we talking 5,000 or 50,000?
It's like $50,000 or whatever it is. It's not
that's pocket lint.
You know what pisses me off right now, though, Reed, is that we're talking about. We just jumped over to NBA. This is my fault. We didn't even talk about Connor McDavid.
We can slide back to that. Let's finish up this NBA talk because here's what's fascinating to me is that in the NBA you've got this play-in scenario. So you guys understand the play-in scenario, how it's going to work?
Yep.
Yeah.
So it looks like now the Lakers are going to be one of those teams that has to play in, which is fascinating because you might have a scenario where one team is hot and just bounces the Lakers and the Lakers don't make the playoffs.
That's it.
Yeah, and obviously they've been hurt and all those things, right? But if you can't win one game with LeBron James and Anthony Davis,
you don't deserve to be there anyways.
it's terrible. And then Boston is also going to be maybe in that playing game the way it's going now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually really surprised with the Celtics. Like Chicago's trying to make a run. The Raptors, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, they lost a lot of talent.
Well, you know what's interesting to me about the Celtics is that there had to be more smoke with that Brad Stevens deal than what was let on. Because listen, you don't get a contract to you unless you've had a conversation.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that how many 5 or 6 year deal for $70 million that they offered, that wasn't just them calling him up and, hey, Brad, how you like Boston? Hey, man, we've got this contract for you. You know what I mean? So, I feel like he lost maybe some of the locker room when that came out because that seems to be about when the slide started to happen for Boston. You know,
that's more of the psychology type things.
Yeah. He tried to come out and say he wasn't that way and all those things, but I really feel like maybe they got in his way a little bit.
Man,
you got to be so careful when you're in one of those positions because, the whole losing a room thing.
Yeah.
Is every sport you see it when it happens, it's irreversible. You know what I mean? It's gross. I can't think of anyone successfully turning something like that around and having any kind of long-term success after that with the same organization.
No,
it is upsetting to see.
Yeah. In any sport, and I think in baseball for sure, or basketball for sure, you got 14 guys, right?
Yep.
You lose one of them, you lose a superstar.
Yeah, you're hurting.
See ya.
Yeah. Hockey, I think, is probably the next one, just in terms of roster size. Then you get baseball, then you get football, where it's baseball is such a slow burn. It's not as dynamic as the other three, but it's.
You got time. You got
crazy.
time in baseball in order to make up some move if you have to.
Baseball, you can stink for. Everyone's looking at the Red Sox and the Yankees right now, and everyone's talking shit. And I'm just like, talk to me in July.
Yep.
Because the Yankees have done this shit
August.
over and over and over again. End of July, mid to late July. Let's see what happens after 4th of July.
Yeah.
See where the Yankees are at because they're not going to just lay down for a fucking season.
No.
They don't do that shit.
No.
Steinbrenner would come back from the grave as a fucking zombie.
All right.
And eat Cashman's fucking dick. It would be terrible.
All right, listen. I did want to touch on this here because I'm very embarrassed of myself.
Conor McGregor or David?
Connor McDavid.
You got your Connors.
Dude.
What did you?
Connor McDavid is about to hit 100 points in 50.
Maybe.
He's only he got 3 points the other night. So he's at 4 points away. 4 points.
How many points away?
4 from 100 points in 50.
With how many games left?
What, 4? 4 games? 3 games?
He can go real cold. He can get hurt.
He can.
They got the playoffs to worry about. You know what I mean?
He might fall down and get out for the rest of the year and blame Tom Wilson.
Yeah. Yeah, they've been, thank God they don't have to deal with a guy like Tom Wilson, which is why the North Division is such a pussy division. But back to you, Sean.
The North Division.
You were saying?
Whatever, buddy. Listen, Austin Matthews about to get 40. He has 40 goals. 40 goals.
How did you get to Austin Matthews? You can't do that, Sean. You can't talk about. Shut up for a second. Shut up for a second. No.
Now in the NHL.
No, dude.
And I know it.
Dude, shut up for a second. You sound like a moron. You can't sit there and talk about McDavid about to do something that guys like Lemieux, Gretzky didn't even do it as fast as this. You know what I mean? It's crazy. When you look at the list of people, Lemieux's done it 3 or 4 times. Gretzky's done it once.
Gretzky, yeah, he's done it once. That's right.
Yeah. And Yager did it. Who Who else? What's that list? I saw the list. The other day.
Yager and Lemieux were line mates. Let's not forget that.
Oh, so we're gonna start adding some asterisks to this stuff?
No,
I think you
no.
like asterisks.
Forget that.
Don't
They were
qualify
There we
it,
go.
Sean. That makes it even more impressive. You get two guys getting 100 points. Where's Draisaitl at? Is he gonna get 100 points?
No, he's not even close to that.
All right, then stop it.
Wait,
You're
I knew
embarrassing
Yager was going to
yourself.
still win championships in his 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's still out there just chasing tail like a mug. It's brutal.
Well, he got rid of the mullet, so
That's actually he lost points for that
Yeah.
one.
You should have kept it.
Should have kept it. But yeah.
I just wanted to touch on that. We're talking about a once in a lifetime hockey player right now. You jokers. Yeah, I just wanted to point that out too. Both you jokers say Sidney Crosby. Like Sidney Crosby is such the past. Such the past.
Sean, you maniac. Sidney Crosby's still incredibly relevant in the league right now.
Super relevant.
Are you kidding me?
Connor McDavid. That is the best hockey player
He's
out
super
there.
relevant, but he's in the past.
He is.
Just go sit quietly in the corner for a minute. Come back in a second.
Sean, you're out of your
Take
fucking
a deep
mind.
breath.
There is okay. Are you
In the
done?
league today.
Anyways.
Josh Allen is a very good quarterback who struggles with accuracy problems.
And then Stefan Diggs shows up out of nowhere and all his problems are solved.
Yep.
But yeah, his IQ jumped through the roof.
Yep.
Is IQ code for Stefan friggin' Diggs? 'Cause
It's his nickname. That's what Josh Allen calls Stephon Diggs, is IQ.
football IQ.
Yep.
Bigger bonus.
Yep.
But dude, like this is a weird season. And I know I keep saying this, but you have to drive this shit home right now. You got to drive it home, dude. You've got 7 teams in your division for the entire fucking season.
That's right. We have
That's
Carey
only
Price.
7 teams.
We have Carey Price. We have Connor Hellebuck. Look at those goaltenders. That's not like some slouches for
2
goaltenders.
goaltenders out
Yeah,
of
but you
out
play
of
them over and
21
over
that you
again.
got.
That's the thing, man. That's what makes series so good too. So you can
This
Yeah.
is the same thing. Everybody, every team is going through the exact same thing.
But the whole
Archie could
thing,
be
no,
doing
no,
that.
no,
Archie is not
no.
Connor
There's,
McDavid.
there's 8 teams in every other division except the North Division. And
Oh.
if you're going to tell me that 8th team doesn't make a difference, just look at how many times the North Division is playing each other, how many times that the East Division is playing each other.
Mhm.
And then you want to talk about like variance and parity, and then you got psychopaths like Tom Wilson floating around there, Brad Marchand. You don't have any of that nonsense up there in the North Division. You guys play. You guys have always played a different brand of hockey.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. Good for good and bad. You guys have always played a different brand of hockey.
That North Division is all hair product and no mouth guards.
Oh my gosh. This is I just can't wait. I can't wait for this season. I can't wait for the postseason. I wish you guys would give
Sean?
Connor McDavid the respect that he deserves.
We 100%
No
do.
one's disrespected
No
him.
one's disrespecting.
Such disrespect.
Oh my God! What
We're
is it?
anointing him with 100 goals when he hasn't scored yet. We're just
Why?
saying maybe there's a reason to pause and not anoint him already.
Yeah, why are you acting like we shot a Canadian goose or something like that? You know what I mean? Like,
We was taking shots at Canadian Goose. Oh, wait, is that Grey Goose? Wait, hold on.
Grey
Hold
Goose. That's a French product, not a French Canadian product. I think.
on.
A
I think
little
they're one and
different.
the same.
I can't smell the difference.
Yeah.
The flavor in my mouth after drinking both of this is the same.
It's the same. It's
It's
the
the
same.
same flavor in my mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sean, you were all high and mighty on the Raptors at the beginning of the season. Here you are on this episode sitting there like, oh, we all knew it wouldn't work out.
knew
Yeah,
the
we
Raptors.
were up against it. We had all the things. Cards were stacked against us. So I
knew Kyle Lowry was trash at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, and it was a completely different conversation earlier. And you should not be pumping the tires of a guy who's probably going to knock you out of the playoffs.
It's a good chance. It's a good chance.
It's a surety if you get past the first round.
we get past the first round. Okay, it's not even a problem. We're going
I don't think.
past that.
I think you're fucking
That's the
high if
series-
you think that's a
the
sure
series
thing.
we deserve as Leafs fans is the Habs and the Leafs in the first round. We deserve it. I don't want to see
The
one.
Habs are they are a different team in the playoffs. They've
Absolutely.
always have been.
We all know that, but they only won one game against the Leafs so far this season. I like.
What do we talk about next? UFC. Let's just move on.
So far this season.
Let's just move on here because I don't think anyone wants to hear any more of this nonsense.
Americans don't want to hear it, but the Canadians are sitting there thinking to myself, "Come on, man! You guys have been there going about Sidney Crosby. Freaking,
Who's a Canadian?
He is a Canadian.
who's done it at a high level for a long time.
But Connor
And is
McDavid
still
is
very,
the
very
future. That
productive.
is the best player in hockey today. I just
Sean,
want to hear you guys say it. I just want to hear you guys say it.
Sean, again, right now, today, Connor McDavid's the best in the league, right? Today.
Thank you.
But if you look at who the best player has been and probably will continue to be going on.
Wayne Gretzky.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to have that discussion because Wayne Gretzky
You know what
played at a time
Dustin
when
Johnson does to Wayne
it was so
Gretzky's daughter?
Oh, God. Poor Paulina. I've seen DJ off the tee box. It is violent. Okay. I've seen him swing before, bro.
Yep.
And
We've all seen the swing.
it is violent. The head speed velocity.
Yep.
It's a double entendre. You can
Yep.
apply that formula all over.
DJ's
all
got
over
a
his
better
bedroom.
slap shot than his father-in-law. That's all you need to know.
Oh, dude.
That's all
100%.
we need to
Oh,
know.
I would love to be at Thanksgiving at that house.
Yep.
Hey, do we have a wife question of the week before we go over to UFC?
No.
We don't?
Let's talk about UFC first.
What
We're
the
not
hell is a
closing up
wife
yet.
question of the week?
I have a wife question of the week.
Let's
Are
hear
you
it.
the wife in this situation? Are you just making
No,
this up?
no,
'Cause I
no.
did not hear Joanna provide this question.
She provided it. So
When?
she just walked in and told me. So,
Okay. All right.
so she told me if sports were to end tomorrow, what are you watching?
War. We're going to war. We're going to war with everybody. We're going to fucking war with everybody. Biden's in office right now, and if sports ended, he got rid of menthol cigarettes. Everyone's going to fucking war. We're going to kill everybody. Dude, it's in the Middle Ages. The medieval times they didn't have sports. They had jousting, which was just skill combat. Just pure combat. We're just going to war. Plain and simple.
Gotta find the competition somewhere.
That's why we do sports. That's why football
Yep.
came to prominence. Peacetime. We didn't know what the fuck to do with our aggression.
Yep.
I don't know what to do with my aggression half the time.
You think if baseball was invented today, do you think people would watch it?
Nope.
No, neither.
No, but so much of baseball is tradition, history.
Yep.
You know,
It's too
it's like
slow.
it's American. You know.
Yeah.
But like when Americans complain about soccer, or the Euros call it football, and they'll go and sit at a baseball game for 19 fucking hours.
That's
Frankly,
what
I'd rather watch soccer than a baseball game half the time.
I like that about a baseball game, though, is you can take a nap and then wake up. It's like, oh,
Well, maybe someday when I'm 65, I'll appreciate that sentiment. But
You should try it now. It's beautiful.
man. Okay.
I love napping to a baseball game in my house. I will say that it is good sleeping.
Free
Especially
UFC
Jerry Remy.
card tonight. Michelle Watterson's heading it again.
Karate hottie.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
surprised she didn't get a title shot already. I thought after that Angela Hill fight that she definitely deserved it.
Yeah. Maybe. I'm not sure I'm sold on that one. This is a card that I really don't give a shit about. Although I like everybody on the card. I like Amanda.
Yeah,
Nunes
Donald
and
Cerrone
Angela Hill.
against Alex Morono.
I love Gregory Gillespie. I think he's really exciting. He lost that one fight and suddenly like he wasn't perfect. He's not a terribly exciting guy to watch. The second he wasn't perfect anymore, I was just kind of like, eh. Maurice Green's awesome. This heavyweight fight, Mo Green and Marcos Rogelio de Lima is probably the best fight on the card. Neil Magny.
That's the reason to tune in for sure.
Yeah.
I think.
What
Yeah.
about
Those
Phil
are
Haas
promising.
and Kyle Dawkins there in the main event of the prelims? That looks good.
I'm talking about that. Yeah, Phil Haas and Kyle Dawkins, the two bad motherfuckers. So that's an exciting fight. I love the guy that the welterweight there because I looked at this card earlier and I was like Christina Aguilera. That's a good name for a male.
Yeah.
And it's Christian Aguilera. Very close.
Same.
Amanda
Yeah,
Ribas against Angela Hill. That's going to be a good fight.
Great fight. Angela Hill's always a great fight. Amanda Ribas is always a great fight.
Yeah.
But I don't want to see Cerrone lose anymore.
I know.
Getting very
man.
difficult.
I hate watching him lose. I really do.
And dude, it's brutal because I have to sit here and listen to this guy talk shit to him, and then Cerrone's Cerrone, so he's gonna talk shit back, and it's just like, dude, you're just gonna go in there and knock Cerrone out. Just shut up. Just pay the man his respect. Like the guy's got more fights than God. Hey, it's an honor to fight a guy like Cerrone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Done. He's been getting knocked out left and right, so. Fuck, you don't need to sell a Cerrone fight. It's really hard. So,
And this was supposed to be the Sanhagen Dillashaw fight, originally.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, for the main, I don't think Karate Hottie has it. Frankly, she'll put together a string of wins, and we've seen this before. She'll put together a string of wins, and then it just doesn't work out for her when it matters. And this Marina Rodriguez chick is a BMF.
Yeah.
BMF.
But I thought that Angela Hill was going to take her to the woodshed, when they fought.
Yeah, of course. And Angela Hill's at that point in her career where, Angela Hill hasn't lost that many fights. It wasn't like it was just a bad timed one. And it is what it is. Angela Hill is always going to be Angela Hill. Angela Hill doesn't have to win fights to put butts in seats and sell tickets.
Yeah, but she's
got it going
after
on.
that main event, they put her on the prelim, and now she's like the first on the main card. It's like, really?
It's tough being a black woman in America. What are you going to do?
I'm telling you, you lose one fight, and then next thing you know, and it wasn't even that, like, it was a decision. She didn't get knocked out. She didn't get anything like that.
But I do not feel bad for Angela Hill at all. She's one of the biggest followers on social media. She's funny as all fuck.
Mm-hmm.
She's done Rogan. She sells merchandise like a motherfucker. Like, she's not beholden to the UFC at all whatsoever. She's at the point now where she could do stand-up fucking goddamn comedy right now if she wanted to, and she would just kill it. Like, she's got so much going on, so much potential. I don't feel bad for Angela Hill at all.
No,
she's
got some real juice.
Yeah, this is a stepping stone. She's going to be doing something bigger than this at some point. So good for her.
You know what I forgot about this Cerrone fight is that it was supposed to be against Diego.
Yeah,
Diego Sanchez.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's so heartbreaking.
I want to see that. I want to see that fight. I hope that fight still gets off.
Did you see that video? Did you see that video of Diego responding to Dana White?
No.
It was. I'll link it in the.
Okay. Send it over.
Diego should not be fighting in the UFC or any organization for that matter at this point.
Why do you say that? What did he do?
He's always been an odd duck.
Yeah.
But it's getting kind of upsetting at this point now, where you're seeing the stuff he's saying, the look on his face, the mannerisms of this video. And again, it was one video that I saw, but we're seeing a pattern of behavior now at this point where it's just like Dana saved Chuck Liddell's life by saying, "Dude, you're done."
Yeah,
plain and simple.
Yeah.
Because Chuck Liddell would have died in the fucking cage. Diego Sanchez is the same deal. Like, he is an absolute warrior. He has nothing else to live for in his mind. I think he's got a lot more to live for, but in his mind, this is what he does, and it's so heartbreaking to see. And I think Dana did him a service, taking him out of these fights and probably never letting him fight in the UFC again.
Yeah,
and probably doing everything in his power to make sure that anybody that allows Diego to fight won't do business with the UFC.
Yeah.
So, because Diego's a special dude. He's got that kid with Down syndrome in his camp there. That I think he's fought him like 5 times in big cards in New Mexico, and lets the kid whoop his ass every time. And same thing at grappling events and stuff like that. Like, he's such a good dude, such a great human being, and it's like, love watching him fight. He's a monster, but I'm not liking what I'm seeing right now. I've seen this too many times where you're just like, that guy's tapped. Next thing you know, there's going to be a standoff with the police or some shit like that. It's just right around the corner.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it looks like, you think about New Mexico, dude. I think they're like a constitutional carry state or some shit like that. You're just like, this could go really bad for a really great guy. So, no more punches in the head, Diego. We love you. For the love of fucking God, stop doing it. I'll share that video with you that I saw. That it put the fear of God in me, because I was like, that could happen to anybody. You get punched too many times. Yeah, not good.
Michael Chandler fight there next weekend. That would be good.
Yeah. We kind of touched on this last time we talked, Sean. I think you had some concerns over Michael Chandler's popularity. I kind of wanted to get Brad's take on that.
Yeah.
So suddenly Sean didn't like how Michael Chandler's already fighting for a title.
Main event. Yeah.
Why?
Why?
I guess it's not surprising given your stance on fighting in hockey either. You just don't like real fighters.
You heard that they chirp each other. The next thing you know, you think the fights are fixed. I'm like, what are you talking about?
I'm not saying they're fixed. I'm just saying you don't like the fights. You feel like the guy that waded in and the guy's ass kick was defenseless, and he was not. He shouldn't have been there to begin
He
with.
was defenseless. He was on the ground. The hands were pinned. It's defenseless.
No, he jumped in. He jumped into it. He's just as culpable as everybody else. That's the move. If you don't want to get punched in the back of the head, don't go fight.
Listen, Tom Wilson's a beast. We're getting back to this again.
I love it. Sean Stipe Miocic walked in there. He was defenseless. He was in a bad position. He was defenseless.
He shouldn't have gave him two pieces and a biscuit. He was defenseless.
He was defenseless.
There was a minute left in the round. What do you
abhorrent.
want from me? There's a minute left in the round. That's gentleman's agreement. They don't fight in the minute left in the round.
Dude, his hands were on the ground like this, and Tom
Yeah, listen, I don't disagree with you. What my point is what led to him being that way was him not wading into that altercation right there.
Sean, we literally talked about your problem with Vancouver doing shit like this, deciding when a dive is appropriate and when it's not, when to give a guy a little extra sauce and when it's not.
No. Vancouver, I was talking about how dirty they are.
I know. And then the media goes.
He hits.
Hold on a second. And then Sean, don't attack me. I'm letting you know what you're doing right now as a friend to friend. You had a big problem with the Vancouver media sitting there saying, again, as you just said, they're a very dirty team. And then they come out and when someone does something to them, you're just like, oh, you're not allowed to do it like that, which is, again, a Montreal thing. Watch that Jack Edwards speech after we knocked Montreal in the playoffs, where he says Montreal sits up there in their thrones, primping themselves in their hand mirrors, deciding when it's appropriate to take a dive and when it's not appropriate to take a dive. And they've somehow anointed them the gods. And then he said, there was a rough group of guys in Boston who decided they were sick of hearing the king across the water tell them what to do. So they went down there and they dumped his tea in the harbor. That's kind of what you're doing right now. You're turning into the Montreal, primping yourself in your hand mirror with your hand and your hair product. As Brad pointed out, you got weird fingers, so there's odd lines. You got like one of those Simpsons hands, so it's. You can't just
like Mr. Burns combed your hair.
Listen,
actually, I think Mr. Smithers is more Sean's.
Yeah, I think
after all the mouth talk.
Yeah.
Listen, I just think that the goon needs to come back. You need a goon position. These skill teams like the Leafs.
But do not. That's fine, but you cannot do the whole thing where you're deciding when it's okay to do something.
No, he was defenseless. Period.
Okay.
No.
That's an opinion.
It's not an opinion. It's a fact.
It's an opinion. If we're not talking about a blindsided hit, which even half of those now, what happened when they made that rule, the checking from behind thing? Every player started all of a sudden whipping their back around, showing the back to the guy that's about to cream.
Is that what Wayne Gretzky did with Gary Suter? I don't think so.
What are you talking about? The rule wasn't there, though.
That's
what year
right.
was that?
You're talking about 1980 freaking 2. Like,
No,
we're talking about right now. Whatever. They got a rule now. They got a fucking rule now.
That play is old enough to drink.
That play's old enough to run for president.
Yeah, that's even better.
I'm
Old enough to run for president.
Just letting you know that there are some boneheaded, like Tom Wilson. Sure,
Dude, Todd Bertuzzi. If you're talking about Todd Bertuzzi,
Todd Bertuzzi, that was the most heinous thing I've ever seen. That was heinous.
I would not argue that whatsoever. 100%. And again, there's an argument there with the whole thing where Todd Bertuzzi was just like, "Hey, turn around, buddy," and the guy happened to fall back. What I mean?
No. He drove him into the ice, breaking his neck.
We've all seen the video.
Yeah.
Calm down. He pulled the guy down from behind. It might have been like hey, I'm
forward.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, he drew him down from behind. Might have been like you're trying to manipulate the body, which you do all the time in hockey, and bad shit happens on blades.
Yeah. You're on skates.
Yeah, you're on skates. You're running around on ice and on razor blades. So that guy made it a social agreement with everyone in the league that, hey, I potentially might end up in a fucking wheelchair playing this sport that I'm getting paid millions of dollars to do. That's a game that kids usually have to play money to play. It's part of the agreement. So no one on the ice is defenseless, though, at any point.
Yeah.
It's really hard to have that conversation. You have to defend yourself. That's the thing. There has to be some personal responsibility with defending yourself.
He's definitely a beast. He's definitely violent.
Beast. He's a piece of shit. And if he was on my team, I'd have his sweater 3 times over.
You know. But
I'd be wearing the shit
If he
out
was
of
my
it.
teammate, I'd buy him Popeyes every week.
Hell yeah. None of that Queen
Yeah.
Vicky's chicken, whatever you drink, you just,
Mary Brown's.
whatever the fuck you call it. I don't know.
Hey, kids.
Man.
With that, hey, Mother's Day weekend. So happy Mother's Day to all the moms in everyone's lives.
The
If
moms.
you got
yeah.
one, give her a hug. If not, spread some love. Episode 10, season 2 in the books. Thanks to Reed. Sean, always a pleasure.
Happy to be here. Happy
So
to have you
thank
back,
you.
Brad. It means a lot.
Yeah, happy to be here. Okay, till next time, kids. Be good or be good at it.
Righto.
Peace.
You've listened to the podcast, but now it's time to visit us in our virtual sports bar. Get all of our info at guysbeersports.com, where you can find all the ways to connect with us. Watch for live conversations with Brad and Sean that happen throughout the week, and join in with your favorite local beer. You can share your thoughts in the conversation comments with your own uploaded videos, or even join us as a guest live commentator. The GBS Virtual Sports Bar is open for business. Come on in, boys and girls.
Joe's our top shelf.
Well, look at the animal she's living with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you have to deal with that
Yeah,
crap.
she's the toughest lady I know.
Remember that lady in Connecticut like 20 years ago? Her chimpanzee Travis went crazy, or Trevor, whatever the fuck his name is. Instead of calling like the National Guard or some shit to shoot that fucking chimp, she called her assistant, and the assistant got her face ripped off.
Yeah.
That is a reality for Joanna every day of her life. Because as chimps get older, they get more violent. I saw a documentary on this, and Sean's way over the fucking. So God knows how, and he could just go nuts at any moment.
Thank God he only knows Krav Maga, not a real martial art.
I know it's even worse. It's Aikido. That's his shit. That's his shit. That's that Steven Seagal nonsense.
God's out training the police force.
I
call this move the taser. Tickle, 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 tickle.
And then he farts somewhere near where you're eating. And then, that's it. So
The best way to subdue a subject is to fart at their server warrant and fart in their house.
I never met so many crybaby Navy guys.
Crybaby. Okay.
Yeah, like, oh, you farted at the breakfast table. Oh, it's like
that shit is unforgivable. I don't care who the fuck you are, where you're from. That is unforgivable. I don't even think Canada would back you. That shit might fly in Pakistan or wherever, but
Sounds like the newest Facebook poll. Is it acceptable to fart at the breakfast table?
I think it's already been a poll. But let's run it again.
we'll run it.
Clearly, he didn't learn his lesson.
We'll run it this week. All right, give me a second. We'll talk about UFC. I gotta go pee.
Try that shit in Ohio, Sean. You're about to be an American. God, he's gonna have so many friggin' baseball teams, hockey teams, football teams.
It's gonna be insufferable.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna buy him a gift card to Fanatics and just let him go nuts.
You should start a GoFundMe for him. Get all his jerseys.
John's New Jersey collection.
He's like, well, I'm close to the border. Pittsburgh's just like 60 miles away, so I don't really have a choice. I go into the sandwich shop; they're all Pittsburgh fans.
Yeah. My new friends are all Pittsburgh fans, so I get it.
Yeah.
I'm simultaneously a Browns fan and a Steelers fan at the same time. It's weird, I know. But
Well, you're in the States, so you got to get the Bengals too, and Chicago's pretty much right there. So I'm a Bears fan now too.
how do you expect me to survive if I'm not a fan of all these teams?
I'm supposed to deny myself the pleasures of the world just because of some geographical rule that you guys came up with?
I mean, it was cute when they were all lovable losers, but now that they're all winning,
I'm paying my dues now. I'm getting in at the ground floor.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say to all that. This is gold.
Are you in a hotel right now?
I
the Carolina
am.
Hurricanes are really the best team in hockey.